Okay, cue the sad music. I'm sorry. Last week, I made the massive mistake of saying chapter 323 was going to be Ochako's best chapter of all time. Well, only 1 week later, that's been dethroned with chapter 324, which continues Ochako's speech and gives her the highlight and love that she deserves as a character. We not only get to see more into her background and why she is motivated as a hero, but we get to finally see the turn and allowance of Deku back into UA, which has been something that we've been fighting for 30 chapters now. It feels like this is a huge turning point not in the story, but also for Ochako's character as a whole. My name is BNHA, and I'm going to be breaking down everything that happened in chapter 324 today, which was a young woman's declaration. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to like, leave comments down below about what your thoughts were on the chapter, and of course subscribe so that it gets in the YouTube algorithm and you can keep up to date with everything we do over here on the Class 1A YouTube channel, including these weekly recaps each and every Sunday whenever the chapters do come out. But let's not waste too much time and jump straight into the recap of everything that happened in My Hero Academia chapter 324. It starts off with her talking about how she always loved to see people happy, which is why seeing her parents exhausted always hurt her so much. But when she was in a crowd and saw a bunch of people so excited and cheering for a hero, she looked into the crowd and saw all these people so happy, and that's one of the turning points for her when she decided she wanted to be a hero, outside of the fact that she wanted to help her family, of course, but making people happy and seeing how much heroes can do that has always been a driving force in Ochacho, and that's been pretty much said across the series a couple of times now. But coming back to the present, people are starting to finally come around and see how exhausted Deku is, even with the woman that he saved a couple chapters ago stepping up and saying like, yeah, he did save me, but then he instantly went off and kept fighting away. So everything that she is saying is true. One of the unconvinced civilians are still saying, well, fine, yes, Deku's covered in filth. Do you want us to be covered in filth too? Which is just a dumb question. Of course, that's not what she means, but she's saying that the heroes are the only ones that need to be covered in filth, which is why they need to let him in and give Deku time to get that filth washed away so that the civilians don't have to deal with it, which makes sense. I mean, everything that Ochacho was saying should make sense to civilians, which is why ultimately in the end, I do believe this is going to work, because she is talking about what's best for the heroes, but also what's best for the civilians in the end as well. All the class is looking up. Deku's basically in tears right now, and Tenya telling him that she is fighting for everyone's right to smile again, not just for Deku, but for Hero Society and everyone at UA as a whole. While Ochacho says that she can't stand on top of school and reassure everyone that everything is going to be okay, she's scared too, and it's okay to be scared in this situation, but that all makes sense here. She screams for them to lend Deku her strength so that they can have a shot at smiling again in the future, because he's really the last chance that everyone had, let's be honest. While briefly thinking back to the fight that she had with Toga forever ago during the Meta Liberation War arc with tears in her eyes. Ochacho continues her speech, begging everyone to let him stay, and then with this huge proclamation, she makes the statement that this is his Hero Academia, with everyone looking up to her in admiration. Her words finally caused Deku to collapse, which is really the first time we've seen him collapse this entire time, because he just is crying and sobbing so hard. And we get a great scene going all the way back to pretty much the very first moment that Ochacho and Deku ever met, Deku remembering back to that. And then we also start to see Koda and the girl that he saved start running up to Deku. And even before Koda gets to her, we get to see a couple of panels of when Koda decided that he wanted to get the same shoes that Deku had when Deku saved him hundreds of chapters ago back at the forest training arc. But they run up, and that is where the chapter ends, with Deku crying on the ground with these two comforting him. And wow, I mean, I don't know too much what else to say. This is an emotional chapter. I can't see it, but I have goosebumps right now as I am just recapping this very quickly. This isn't a long recap. This isn't a chapter that has a bunch of things to analyze. This is just pure emotion that My Hero Academia has the right to have this kind of emotional payoff chapter because of how well they've built up characters for hundreds of chapters now. And this is just showing how well it can do. Uraraka being someone that is always wanting to save the heroes, and that's what she's doing here. Not only allowing Deku to come back into UA and save someone that admittedly we all know she loves, but also at the same point kind of talking to heroes as a whole that this wasn't meant for just Deku. This was meant for civilians and every hero inside of UA at that moment. So this is the ultimate payoff for Ochacho. I don't think it's going to get better from here. Who knows? Chapter 325 could blow me away again too. I don't know where it's going to go from here. I think there's going to be a couple more kind of talking chapters like this where we're getting Deku in finally, maybe people apologizing, getting caught up on all the events that maybe UA knows about that Deku doesn't know about, and start trying to move forward towards a final conclusion here, because this is one of those big emotional chapters that you usually see before big fights coming up, and it even pretty much saying the name of the series in the chapter, which is always kind of a telling sign that the story might be coming near an end. And Deku saying that this isn't just about his story anymore, his story being the greatest hero anymore, but now it's our story becoming the greatest heroes, was such an emotional line, and I can't wait till the anime comes out. I would love for them to do a reimagining of the very first ever opener when he says it at the end, but then it changes to all of Class 1A being behind him, saying this is our story for being the top heroes, the number one heroes, however they want to say it, would make me melt just thinking about it. It's such a cool emotional moment. So I hope you guys enjoy this chapter. It's not going to be a long recap because it doesn't need to be, because the emotions hit, and I don't need to tell you guys how to feel. Go and read the chapter again if you really want to feel that. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this recap. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter as much as I do. Ochacho got the love she deserved. I cannot wait to continue to see where the stories are going from here. So I'll be back for the chapter 325 recap. I hope you guys join me and have a great week.